all of a sudden he came out and he said, look, you will never be at my level. And I was like, huh? You will never be at my level. You could never be at my level. You're going to stay low and I'm going to be here.
Did he say those exact words?
He said those exact words. But he had always given me like little signs, like trying to, steer me into his far right, evangelical type of way. Thank God I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I put my report in and nothing ever happened. This stuff is too deep.
Yeah.
Like this kind of stuff has been going on for so many years, right?
Yeah.
It's too deep. And again, I asked myself, do I want to be subjugated to this?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Coffee No Cream podcast. My name is Erin Braxton, your host. And here on Coffee No Cream, we are unapologetically dedicated to Black women, and we share what I like to call coffee no cream moments, those things that happen to Black women in business and in life just because we are Black. Now, today I have a neuro-encoding specialist, Valencia Dantzler, who is going to share some very interesting, not just microaggressions, but downright racism that she experienced as an EMT in North Carolina and the unique ways that she dealt with it. Now, the cool thing about Valencia is she just said, you know what, I've had it. And she moved herself all the way from here to Rwanda because she's had it. She's had it in America. And that's an interesting story. And she'll talk a little bit about it. But before we get into the episode, guys, I want to ask that you please please share, please subscribe. My goal is to create a community of Black women that is a safe space, a place where we can uplift each other, figure out solutions. We're not going to be able to change anything overnight, but what can we do when we deal with these tough situations in the workplace and life? I've also created a Facebook community. I'll share the link below where you can go and join, and that truly is a safe place because let's face it, everybody can't come online and share their story and talk openly. They have jobs, they have eyeballs on them. They don't want the heat publicly. But in the Facebook group, that's where we can continue those conversations. I think that's all the housekeeping that I have. So with that said, let's get into the episode. Welcome, Valencia. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. I hope that and I know you are too.
I'm excited. I'm really excited because Valencia is joining in today from Rwanda. And I think she's going to be great for you guys to listen to. So before we get into it, for those of you who don't know, here on Coffee No Cream, we share what I like to call coffee no cream moments, those things that happen to us Black women in business and in life just because we are Black women. Valencia has a good story for us today, and I can't wait for her to share it with you. So before we get into that, Valencia, why don't you just tell everybody what it is you do on a daily basis now?
Yes, I would love to do that. But first, before we get all into it, I would be remiss if I didn't just say, Erin, I'm loving everything that you are doing. Okay.
Thank you.
Your podcast is like going off. I'm so proud of you on that. And just thank you so much for, having me on today. I love everything you're doing. Look, I want everybody with the sound of my voice to stop what you're doing, subscribe, comment, give her a 5-star, okay? Because this is how we get the information out. If you don't 5-star and you don't send it out to other people, it's just gonna be constant, right? It's not gonna shoot up. So that's very, very important.
Thank you.
Yes. So a little bit about me. So, I am what you would call an elite neuro-encoding specialist. And all that is I help people reprogram their brains so that they can live the best life, live the life that they truly, truly want to live. And I was my first client. Okay. So I had to do it for myself. In the beginning, I've come a long, long, long way. And through that, I've had a lot of coffee, no cream incidences. Okay. I mean, I'm 57. I know I don't look it, but I've had a lot of incidences like that in my life.
So is that how you got into it? Like you did it for yourself, and then how did it like turn into a profession?
Yeah. I mean, it started with myself. I mean, I can tell you through all the ups and downs that I've had through life, about 8 years ago, I was really at my lowest point. Okay. And, I talk about it now, but back then nobody really knew. I was ready to say bye to the whole
Mm,
daggone world. Okay.
yeah.
And then I discovered I made my plans. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I gave myself a week. And during that week of kind of preparing myself, I fell upon something that has to do with neuroscience. And I just tried it for a week. I tried it. I felt a little bit better at the end of the week. And I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. And then I said, well, maybe I should just delay what I'm going to do. Did it another week. Long story short, at the end of 4 weeks, I wanted to live. And I was like,
Mm.
how did this happen? I grew up in church. I'm magna cum laude, graduated from school. Like, how did this happen? Right. And so that made me go on to become an elite neuroencoding specialist.
Love it. I love it. Well, I know that's a whole nother story we probably should get into on another episode. Cause that's deep. I heard you say that on something I was watching. I must have been watching on Instagram, and I heard you talking about that. So yeah, amen. And so glad
Yeah.
you were able to find your way out of it, because I've seen some dark spots too, and it's
Mhm.
it's not, it's wonderful when you're able to turn things around and you see the light again. So that is amazing. So
Yes.
yeah, with that said, we want to hear one of your coffee no cream moments. Who knows, we might end up hearing more than one. So Valencia, tell us one of your coffee no cream moments.
Okay, so through my ups and downs of life, I found myself working as an EMT for 6 years on the ambulance. I mean, saving people's lives, pumping
Wow.
chests. I really loved it. I would have, I'm the type of person, I can talk to a person and they can just feel like they're on cloud nine, right? It's a gift from God. I let them see the good parts of life. I've had suicidal patients in the back, and by the time we get to the hospital, they're laughing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just a gift that I had. But, I had a paramedic. It was usually two on an ambulance, right? So EMT and a paramedic.
Tell us the
Paramedic
difference really quick. Yeah, tell us the
paramedic
difference.
has more education. That's it. They just have more education, maybe a little bit more experience, that kind of thing, right? But
Okay.
I mean, let's just say I was EMT for 6 years, and so this, I was more of a senior EMT,
Okay.
and so anyway, well, I'm just gonna say it, okay. Uh, he was okay. I'm always good with people, right?
White male.
How, huh?
White male.
Yeah, white male, white male.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, white male, and I would say would probably put him in the category of a Trumpster. Okay, I'm sure
Okay.
he's a Trumpster. Okay, unless he's changed his ways. And so we were just having a conversation one day, and all of a sudden he came out and he said, "Look, you will never be at my level." And I was like, "Huh? You will never be at my level. You could never be at my level. You're going to stay low, and I'm going to be here."
Did he say those exact words?
He said those exact words.
Okay, that's crazy time, but I'm not surprised. Like, the stories are starting to flow. But how did you all even get into that conversation? Like, what were you talking about with him? Because I have to tell you, the conversation has been more around white women. A lot of times, one of the most popular videos that we've had or episodes, and white men have come into the comments trolling and saying things as well. And there's been a lot of conversation about making friends, not sharing too much, not talking too much to people. So I want to talk about, well, I want to learn about how did you guys even end up in this conversation? Like, what was that?
And it just started off as a casual, really conversation between the two of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he
Mm-hmm.
had always given me like little signs, like, I mean, if he wasn't trying to and I grew up in the church, right? But if he wasn't trying to, steer me into his far right, evangelical type of way, right?
Yeah.
This was the type of person that he had a wife, but I think they had like 9 kids, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like his wife was forbidden to work, that kind of thing. And
Okay.
and I mean, I would hear this and I'd be like, okay, mm-hmm. I never criticized them or anything like that, right? And as far as my work is concerned, I mean, my goodness, I had people writing in telling what great, patient service I gave them and all that. So, I don't know. My grandmother always said cream will always rise to the top, and I've always been cream, okay, no matter what. And so sometimes when people see that, they want to strike that down. So I feel that he just felt like he saw the cream rising to the top and he wanted to put that thing to a halt and put me in my place by telling me this. But it actually did the opposite. It actually did the opposite because thank God I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of, right?
Right.
And so I know what my strengths are, and no one can ever take that away from me.
So when he said that to you, you guys are in a conversation. It was probably like a seemingly friendly interaction. What was your response in that moment?
I was like, I was kind of put back,
Yeah.
and I was kind of in shock that he's actually. I said, did you just say that I will never be above you? That I will never. I mean, are you talking about my intellect? What are you talking about, right? I just wanted to make sure I understood what he said. I mean, and really, what I was doing is I was writing my report out because his supervisor looked like me.
Okay.
Okay. So
We and we've
I was
had
just making, huh?
we've had that conversation. Like you're writing your report, like documenting the words that were coming out of his mouth, is what you mean.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what I was doing. But
Mm-hmm.
and to tell you the truth, I put my report in and nothing ever happened. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
so nothing ever happened. That was really ultimately why I ended up leaving. I did because I saw it over and over again. I saw it in the firemen that worked. We worked with a lot of firemen. I saw it in the police force. Like I saw it, and I was like, these people are so like why are they so anti-black people? Like why? Like we haven't done
Wow.
anything to them. Why? Why
Yeah.
are y'all like this?
So
I've not even done anything to you guys.
how
So
long did it take you to leave though after that happened? Like did how long were you there?
I'm gonna say probably within that year, I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
see what's going on. I can't change it. I can't change it because this stuff is too deep.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this kind of stuff has been going on for so many years, right?
Yeah.
It's too deep. And again, I ask myself, do I want to be subjugated to this? And
I,
can I really grow in this environment? And if I can't grow in the environment, why am I going to be subjugated to it for a paycheck?
I love that.
Surely I'm more than that. Surely I have more capabilities than that. So that
I
was
love that.
me.
I love that. You took care of yourself in that moment, right? And
Right.
so often I feel like we feel stuck there.
Right.
You know, and I'm not going to a lot of black women have their grievances, issues that have happened to them at work, and we feel so stuck. Like there's no way out for us. But you didn't obviously see it that way. Like you knew who you are, you
Mm-mm.
know your worth. So did you make plans to leave? Were you kind of working on a plan after this happened and you like filed the, okay, let me just go back real quick. So you said you did a report, you submitted a report, your supervisor, or both of you guys as supervisors, was another black man.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have like a conversation with him about it directly, or did you just like submit the paperwork and then wait?
With him. You mean with his supervisor, right?
Right.
Yeah. I had a conversation with him. Looking back on it, yeah. So you got to understand, this was like probably 15 years ago, right?
Okay.
So I've matured now and I kind of know a little bit more and I'm looking back at it, right? So I thought his supervisor is the one that was responsible for me even being in the position, right? He's the one that told me about the position, said, hey, you need to do this and go for it. I'm the
Right.
one that went through all the paperwork, the tests, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, but now that I kind of look at it, he has some things going on too that wasn't quite right. So I'm like, no wonder it didn't go anywhere because his supervisor didn't look like him. You understand what I'm saying? And the ones that were real, that really ran it, didn't look like us, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps, I mean, I hate to say Uncle Tom. I don't want to use that word, Uncle Tom, but that's what I'm thinking, you know?
Well, you mean
That's
the
what I'm
the
thinking.
yeah, yeah, and maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but
To
maybe
a
he
point,
had,
to a degree.
yeah, yeah, maybe he had run up against some things before and he knew it was a losing battle. I feel like a lot of us just decide that this is just the means to an end and we're okay with it. Some of us, it affects us too much emotionally, it affects
Mhm.
us physically. So there's just no way we can stay in some of these positions dealing with that. Somebody said that to me. I don't know, my younger self, I probably would have been super fiery and super. I remember when I was young, when I went to college, I went away to college, for all 4 years. And my whole goal was to get out of St. Louis. I was just trying to get out of St. Louis. I came back the first year. I worked at the grocery store. So I was a checker when I was in high school. And then I moved up to be I was a bagger and then I moved up to be a checker. And I remember being a checker after my first summer. It was my first summer after my first year in college, after my freshman year. And I remember this white boy said to me, I said, I'm never coming back here. I was like, I am never coming back here. Like, I said it like that. He's like, yeah, right. And this is how he yeah, right. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I said, I'm never coming back here again. He's like, whatever. See you next summer. Because I don't think he was in college. I don't think he had anything going on at the time. And the end of the story is I never went back there, like
Right.
ever again, right? And it's just like sometimes when these white people say things to you, it just gives you just enough. It gives you the fuel you need sometimes to put that move into play even faster. It's just like, and I mean, I was never coming back there anymore anyway, right? But, it's like when people try to like put you in your place or tell you like,
Hmm.
and this is nothing on the level of somebody telling me you're never going to be at my level because that guy wasn't at anybody's level either. But I just remember when you
Exactly.
said that, it just made me think about it. And I'm just like, no, I can't go back now. It's just like, it's not even an option.
Yeah. 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 I just knew I wasn't going to subjugate that myself to that. And, I looked around at other people that were in that position and looked like me. And I didn't want to trade places with any of them either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I said, well, if I stay here, what's it going to be like for me 5 years from now, 10
Yeah.
years from now? And is this what I want? Is this how I want to live my life? Nah, let me do something else. So did I plan a lot? Did I really plan? No, I didn't. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't plan like what's my next move gonna be, and
Yeah.
no, I just the first thing that came along. Oh, y'all hiring? Okay, bet I could do this. Blah 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 blah. Okay, bet. See y'all. And that was
Right.
it. And I never
Yeah.
looked back. I've never looked back. I did
Yeah.
my time. I dedicated my service to my mother, who died when I was 7. Right?
Mm,
Hey, I kept going, and
right.
that's good. Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said when you said that, or when he said that, you said, did you just say, tell us what he said and then how that whole thing like ended up before you wrote your report and you were about to like,
I was just, I just let him talk. Not that I wasn't really interested in why he said what he said because I already know his whole psychology is
right.
torn up, right?
Hmm.
And I mean, now I can see. even though he was kind of a quiet person, he still had narcissistic tendencies, right? And so you can't do anything with a narcissist. The best thing you can do with a narcissist is to get away from them. Okay. I didn't know that back then, but I know it now. I know it
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I did not know that. I always thought I could change him and da 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 da. And I guess he maybe wanted me to I mean he basically I guess just wanted me to kind of bow down and take it. You know what I'm saying? Like bow down and I'm sorry, master. That kind of thing, right? But I just kind of listened to what he said. I knew I wasn't going to argue back and forth with him because I didn't think I'm just not a type of person to argue.
Yeah, like what was it like working with this person going forward? Like how did you
I
just
put him in my mind, I put people in categories. Okay. So I put him in that category of this dude is crazy. He don't like black people. It's his problem. It ain't mine.
Right.
Okay. And right now, you gonna just work with him, but you ain't gotta be friends with him. You're not gonna be telling them your deep dark secrets. Okay. I don't even have to have too much conversation with him. You understand what I'm saying? Even though it's just him and I on the truck, I can, we would have stations, like we might be at a fire station or something like that. And I might go in the fire station and he'll stay out in the truck, or it'll be vice versa. So a lot of time is spent that way, which actually, you know what? It reminds me of something, another coffee, no cream moment. I had a captain of a fire station tell me that I couldn't come into the fire station because because I'm black.
Wait a minute. Okay, no.
I did have that happen. Now I did have that happen too.
Explain. Okay, in this was this in North Carolina?
North Carolina.
But I
Charlotte.
need you to explain what was said to you. I need you to explain. And then I wanna circle back because I know the kind of comments and the kind of trauma that these women are going through that I've heard and listened to in the comments. So the goal is give people tools because you're very like sure of yourself and who you are and how you handle these situations. But for some people, it's daily torture, like going into these workplace situations. So we want to give women ways to work in those environments and then work themselves out of those environments. So tell me about that, and then we're going to come back to what I just said.
Okay. So
he told you couldn't come in.
Yeah. Now that really got big. Once that got out that he said this, that really got big. Okay. Like all over the department, the fire department had to address it. So that really did go.
Well, tell us the story. Like, what happened? Like, how did you?
So like I said, I was in the fire station, right?
Okay.
And it's something that done it for years. Okay, years and years and years. And this particular captain, I mean, and you're always courteous and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't trash the place. You don't do anything like that. So, I've been doing this, for 5 years on the job at this point, right? So he just comes to me and says, you got to get up, you got to leave. I was like, huh? You got to get up. We're getting ready to clean up and you got to be out here. Now, there have been times when we clean up, we help them clean up, right? Or, we're not getting in their way or anything like that. And he was just no, you need to get out, get out, get up, get up, get out of here. And I'm like, okay. Mental note. I'm writing that down. Okay. In my head, because that does not make any sense.
Right.
So, I guess I ended up telling someone, right, about it. And they're like, what? Wait a minute. So-and-so went through that too. And they're not supposed to be able to do that. Right. And so everything kind of went around, blah, 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 blah. That captain, I don't know if he was actually fired, but it got on the news. He got very much so reprimanded because he was not supposed to do that, right? And so that was a whole racial thing. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I am a non-confrontational type person. That's just the way I am. So I'm not going to be the one, like some of my counterparts, like some of my sister girlfriends, you're on their team and, I'll let Josita let her cuss you out, right? But
Right.
Val's not gonna be the one to do it. Okay. I just didn't grow up that way, right? But I'm like, yeah, Josita, go, 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 right? But I don't handle situations that way. I'm a calm, smile type person, right?
Hmm.
But I'm smart too. So I know what my rights are, and I know how to write things down, make notes, and I know how to bring reports forth, right?
Right.
And
Right.
investigations and things like that. But I'm not going to sit there and lower myself to your standards and argue with you. I'm just not going to do that. Okay? So that's the way that I handle it. Okay? That's
Right.
always the way I've handled it. And it's worked out.
So wait, when the captain told you, did he ever say you needed to get out because you were black, or it was just you were insinuating? You knew.
Oh, he insinuated. He never said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when everything got back, he's always said those. He's never said that to the white females. He's never said that to when the investigation and stuff went forth, right? So
Mm-hmm.
apparently they had information that I did not have. I just
Right. Right.
simply reported this, okay?
Yeah.
So when it all came out, that's what it was. And I just kind of felt like this is not right because in all my years, I've never been asked to just get up and leave. And plus, I was by myself. So sometimes your partners will be there with you. But in this case, I was by myself.
So Valencia, or is it? Do people just call you Val? Val?
It's whatever. It's just not
Okay.
Valerie.
So, Valencia, in an effort to give Black women tools, because like I said, and the reason I wanted to circle back to what you were dealing with on a day-to-day basis after this white man said this to you, and how you handled it, how you dealt with it before you were able to exit that place. I want to be able to give Black women some tools that they can use, maybe mentally, from like even from the standpoint of what it is you do today, daily. Like tell us the title, you do
Neuro-encoding. Uh-huh.
yes. So
Yeah.
some tools that you used maybe at the time and you didn't even know that you were using because this is something that's always been within you, or tools that women can do so they can find their best selves, their best life when they are in a situation that seems just really toxic and unpleasant, and they have to deal with that until they can get themselves out of it and on to the next thing. What are some tools that you can give us? Because you obviously were sitting up in that truck with that paramedic who
Mhm.
was clearly had a problem.
Clearly. Well, my first rule is, there used to be a commercial, never let them see you sweat, right?
Yeah.
So do not give them the satisfaction of, see, a lot of them, they come at you because they want to see the show. They want to see you go off, right? Lose your cool, curse, even fight. That's what they really want.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so never let them see you sweat. You got to just let it roll off your back like water on a duck's back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like always keep your head up and know who you are. Okay?
Yep.
You can always go in the bathroom and let loose, okay? But don't let them see you sweat. Always be calm, composed, graceful, have your head up, okay? And that's even if you don't even know what your next move is going to be. But that needs to be something that becomes automatic to you. Because some of us we can go off at the drop of a hat. We can just
So
and
how do you make it an automatic? Because you, like you said, some of us, we just go off. Like I was not good at this game when I was working for people. I wasn't good at this game. Like I
mhm.
recognize that. How do you, because you just might be like that. Like you said, I'm a non-confrontational person. I don't like to get involved. Let your homegirl do it. It's not going to be me, right? So
Right.
how do you have any recommendations on how to work on this? Because when you're triggered, sometimes you just like,
Well, when you're in a work environment, I mean, the types of people you're working with, right? I mean, they give you
mm-hmm,
signs and things like that. Listen to the signs, right? Don't think, oh, it's just me, or no, listen to the signs, internalize those, right? Because you're going to compartmentalize where you're going to put them, okay? So
mm,
if Joe always has a problem, Okay, he got a problem with black people. He don't like black people. Just not put him in that. Put him in that compartment. Whether it's substantiated or not, it may just be a feeling that you have. We have to understand that we, especially as women, we can feel each other's energy. Like that's a
Right.
real thing. It's just not
Yeah.
something that's taught to us in school. Okay. So you may just have a funny feeling about this person. It's okay. Go ahead and use that. This is part of, the gifts that we have that are real. And I'm talking more quantum physics now. Quantum physics is a real science. We can read each other's energy because everything is energy. So know who you're dealing with. Put them in that category, if you will, in your mind. And I used to have to recite in my head or visualize in my head. I know I'm going to see Joe today. I know he's going to do something that gets on my nerves. He's going to try his best to get on my nerves. But I'm visualizing how I'm going to respond to him or if I'm going to respond at all. Because he may hate when I ignore him, but I have every right to do so, right? Because why? You got to protect your peace at all
Yep.
costs. Protect your peace. So if that means ignoring him, ignore him. He's going to get the message. She's ignoring me. Okay? But that is how you can take some of your power back as well. So visualizing, go through this, visualize in your head how you're going to be when this person is around you, how you're going to respond to them. This is you getting your power, harnessing your power. Okay. It's very, very, very important that you do that so that you're not going to be triggered. Understand they have a power that can trigger you. But if you're prepared, if you go into the game prepared and you know how they are, you prepare yourself. And so
I
that's
love it.
that's one key that definitely I have had to do for myself.
That's some good stuff right there. See?
Thank you.
That's some good stuff. Okay. What else you got?
Well, I mean, there's several different things, Like, I have a whole practice of things that I do, right? So you see this big smile on my face. It's not
Yeah.
something that I've always had my whole life. I mean, I've worked on myself for quite a long
Sure.
time. And so now what you see is just, you may see the overflow, right? But still, I still have my up and down days, right? But
Sure.
I'm aware if I'm having a down day, I'm aware of it, right? And I have just certain tools that I use to put me in another frame of mind. So I will definitely, one quick one that I like to give all the time. And, if you just say you're having a down day and you're feeling down, right? Well, one thing that I do, and I can be out in public doing this and no one even knows that I'm doing it. Okay. But there's one thing that you can't do physiologically. You can't frown and smile at the same time. Okay. You can't have a thought of being down and a thought of being happy at the same time. But there's certain things that we can do that can magnetize the brain. Okay. And so when you get that down feeling, I want you to immediately be aware of it and I want you to look up and smile, even if it's for a moment. What you are doing is you taking control, you harnessing control back because that down thought, that feeling of being down, and then you automatically being aware of it and looking up and smiling, you cannot smile and feel down at the same time. But when you smile, you do that action, even if it's just a small action of putting your head up and smiling, that magnetizes the brain. And your brain wants to do more of it. Okay? So it is like an auto response that you are creating. And the more that you do it, you become aware of it and you do it, I'm telling you, that feeling, that low feeling, that bad feeling, is going to go away. And this is neuroscience.
When you're saying this is cool. This is great. I think about when us Black women, we have the Sunday scaries before we have to go to work on Monday. Is this seems like something you can exercise in those moments, because there's a lot of anxiety, headaches, chest pain, whatever your symptoms might be, preparing ourselves mentally to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
This seems like a great way, to a tool that we could use. And obviously I'm going to tell people how they can get in touch with you, you're going to tell them how they can get in touch with you and work with you and all of that as well in just a minute. But this is a tool that they can use in addition to, I like what you're saying. I mean, what you said is so powerful. That whole understanding who you're dealing with so you can plan. Like the first sign that they give you to let you know who they are, you got that, okay? You take that, you put it in a box, all right? From there, they're in that box. So at any moment, they could say some sideways shit, some crazy shit to you that could have you
flipped
go off
out. It can flip you out and make you...
But if you're prepared and you know that this person is this way and you've made it up in your mind how you're going to react, what you're going to say, because they're going to tell you who they are. People always show you who they are, right? Maya Angelou. Yep. Believe them the first time, all of that. So I love that. It's never really a surprise. You know who you're dealing with. And I love that. You've put it in a formula, in an actionable way that we can prepare ourselves so that we don't go off, so that we don't lose our cool. You've also talked about being really good at reporting and documenting what's going on, and it has been beneficial to you in the past. These are tools that I want to give women. These are tools. I'm actually working on something for women, so we know how to get ourselves from over here to, over the rainbow,
Right.
And dealing with this kind of stuff. So I love what you're saying. These are actionable things that we can do. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. It's a tool. It's called a toolkit. So you just keep certain things in your toolkit, and there's many, many tools.
Yeah, because it sounds to me, based on the comments that I'm seeing, and obviously I knew, and I mean, being a Black woman, what you know, right? It's just we don't even need to say what it is. We know what it is when
right.
It happens, right? So obviously I know that this is a problem, and so many of us have such similar stories, but at this point it's just how do we just move forward in a way that's most healthy for us, right? Psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and physically, right?
That's right. So I have a acronym that I always use. It's called FLYHIGH. Okay, and the first thing is you gotta know what it is that you really, really want. Okay. And you got to focus in on that. That's the F. Focus.
Okay.
Right.
I'm going to put this on the screen while you're saying this too. I'll put it on the screen.
Okay.
So tell us. Okay.
So you got to focus. So you got to know what you want, what you really want inside, and then focus on that. Okay. That's when you can use these tools about visualizing and all that kind of things to know that you got to get through your day. Right. But you're going to focus. Next is lift. So when you're focusing and you're going towards the thing that it is that you really want, you're lifting your eyes to that because you're focused in on it. And then you're going to yield. That's the why. You're going to yield a better life just because you're focusing on what it is you want. You've lifted your eyes towards it. You're going towards it. You're going to yield a better life, period, because you're going for what you want. You're going to be able to cast out all that noise. This is all that is, that coworker and all that stuff. All that stuff is noise. My coworker, that was just noise, okay? Trying to get me off my game, right? But I'm focused on what it is that I want. All right. H, halt. There's something you're going to have to do to change. Halt. That means you're going to have to interrupt that pattern. Do something different. Maybe doing these exercises that I gave you, just 2, that's going to be a way for you to interrupt the pattern because it cannot be the same. Maybe you're saying, you know what, I'm going to pick a time to do those 2 exercises once a day and put it on your calendar, okay? You got to interrupt the pattern if you want something different. Now, ignite. Ignite is like with movement, okay? Like start moving your body. I don't care if it's taking time, going outside, walking, some type of something. You're going to have to ignite. You're going to have to move your body. It may be, hey, I know I want to go back to school. All right. Okay. Instead of just talking about it and talking about it or thinking about it, take those steps to do those things. Ignite, move. All right. And then my favorite, which is the thing that saved my life years ago, is gratitude. That's the G. Gratitude. That means in every situation, I don't care what is going on, even your lousy coworker that gets on your nerves, that tries to, he's racist, okay? There is a seed of greatness in that, something to be grateful for. Maybe that's the thing that you needed. And maybe that's the thing that I needed to say, you know what? My life does not end here as an EMT. Let me go and do what I know I really was meant to do. Let me start working on that. You have to find the gratitude in it. And I like to write down my gratitude, okay? And then the last thing of the H in high is harness. Harness. Like all that stuff that I told y'all, just grab hold of it and let it empower you. Okay? Harness it, grab hold of it, and let that thing work. And so that's my fly high method.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And thank you so much for being here. Tell everybody how they can reach you, how they can get in touch with you, how they can get more of the Fly High, the toolkit, all things.
Okay, well, I do have something really special for your listeners and your viewers.
Okay.
It is my exhaustion, my ease over exhaustion. It's a ease over exhaustion bundle kit. Okay. And because that's what I do. I take people from burnout, exhaustion, overwhelm over to the land of ease. And like I said, I do it for myself. That's one of the reasons why I'm in Rwanda right now. Life is really fantastic here. Okay. It really, really is. And so I had to use my whole technique and not be stuck and start flying high. I flew right on high
Right.
over that ocean into Africa, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a bundle. And in that bundle, you're going to have a quick quiz that you can take. That one, you're going to have a personal plan. You're just going to develop a personal plan for you. Just take the quick quiz, and within 2 minutes, you're going to have a personal plan just for you. All right? Number two, hey, if anyone's ever even thought about it, I don't even know, but if you've even thought about relocating, there's a quick quiz on there. What country is good for you? Take that quiz and it'll tell you what country is good for you based on what you want. And then I have a community. It is Ease Over Exhaustion Community and Academy, which there's all kinds of goodies and a wonderful community in there. So if you look me up on LinkedIn, I'm very, very active on LinkedIn, Valencia Dantzler, right? I'm
I'll share
also,
the link in the notes. I'll
okay,
put the link below too.
you put the link in there. Okay.
Yep.
And if you just DM me the message EASE, EASE, I'll send it right on over to you.
Well, awesome. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Girl, people need this stuff because this stuff is real. Like I'm telling you, some people I was talking this girl, I'm gonna have her on. I don't know when she's gonna be on. We record not next week, but the week after. But she was talking about she just couldn't survive it. She had to go, an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
She had to go. And I get it. I couldn't survive it either. So getting and learning and hearing about these tools, especially for some of our younger women who just aren't as seasoned as some of us on how to regulate our emotions and our reactions to the stuff that happens. I also think we're in a very interesting time,
Yeah.
in a time where we thought we had stepped out of, but we're being brought back to.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the younger girls, the younger women who haven't experienced some of the things that became just normal for somebody our age,
Mm-hmm.
are closer, to our age, in their 40s and 50s. It's really painful and shocking to them, right? It's just something that they just when I listen to some of my friends and their kids, they just don't have a clue. and unfortunately they're getting one now. So
Yeah.
what you've given us, the information you've provided, I know is going to be super helpful, you guys. So if you guys loved all of this, and I did as well, go check Valencia out. The link is below. And I think that's it. I just want to thank you so much for coming on so much. This has been wonderful.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
thank you, everyone. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we will see you in the next episode. Stay with me.
Bye-bye.